Morning, everyone. Thank you for being here at 9 a.m. It's challenging for us, speaker, and we got a full room. I hope your Ignite is going well. Then we are here for this morning breakout session, and we are going to talk today about Microsoft threat protection. That's the topic of the day. My name is Elia Florio. I'm the threat research lead on the endpoint-related threats for Defender ATP, and here with me.
I'm David Phantom. I'm a program manager with Microsoft Threat Protection, and I also focus on Office 365 security.
So the reason why David and I are here, it's not just a coincidence. It's not like it's a little bit MTP and Microsoft Threat Protection. You have to see it a little bit like a task force of talented researcher combining together their superpowers to try to achieve a big problem that we saw in the in the ecosystem. So I'm an expert on endpoint, and basically I'm chasing threats and what's happening on the endpoint from any kind of attack. And I normally look at the endpoint side without caring too much about what's happening on the other side, like identity. Or David instead is an expert in email threats, mail campaign, phishing, and malicious attachment. So what we realized at Microsoft is that to tackle certain problems and you need to kind of combine force together because, sometimes the threats are manifesting across a variety of domains. And we created a long time ago small units in our team where we decided to put, what if I take an identity guy expert in the domain controller and identity, and I combine this guy with an endpoint. And the same thing, I can take an email expert and put together. There was the thinking behind the Microsoft Threat Protection. And today, we're going to just try to show a little bit more concretely what Microsoft Threat Protection is supposed to do. So the name of the session is Real Detection Story for a reason, because we're going to show kind of a little bit of bad things. These are the bad things that we want always not to happen to any customer, but sometimes happen. So it's always like some other customer, not my environment. But so if you're scared about seeing PowerShell or more technical stuff, today we're going to see some of these things on 2 examples, and I hope it's going to make everybody happy in the day. Worth it actually seeing this session. That's the cyber kill chain. We've seen this thing in every possible flavor, every kind of variation on the team. When Lockheed Martin introduced this thing, it was really like a big step into the research because it was trying to categorize attackers across all the steps that they do to breach an environment, from initial access, delivery, and then there's privilege escalation, lateral movement, and so on. One of the things at Microsoft these years that our CEO repeats always is just try to learn and realize when you're doing mistakes, or basically when there's new stuff happening that actually are completely fading away your old model and preconcept and making the things different. So looking at this kill chain, we realized that somehow basically we are doing it wrong. Basically, chasing the threats only looking at this domain space, it was good probably 5 years ago. It was good in the past. It's different today. Why it's different? Because we start having now the kill chain expanding across this hybrid cloud environment. And the more enterprise are going to the cloud, the more we start adding to the kill chain little attack blocks like this. So it's not anymore just the email. The attacker can come from your SharePoint, from your OneDrive, or if you have an Office 365 account, they can try to do password spray and capture identity and then move laterally, eventually coming from the Office 365 service coming to your endpoint. We can see attacks like stealing a token on an OAuth application. All of this stuff today, at least until a week ago, they did not exist in the traditional kill chain. You can open any kill chain book and see how the attacker were moving. You will always see the usual scheme, but we are not start seeing this kind of different blocks and different attack patterns that they are manifesting themselves not anymore in the perimeter of my enterprise, but somewhere else in the cloud or combining the cloud and my perimeter. So we started to look at this picture more and more. It's been a couple of years. And the reason why we were thinking we need to think that our model of how the attacker interacts in a different way is because we start seeing attackers actually doing real things in this way. So it's not anymore this is just a theoretical model. We're going to see in the session today how attackers were actually thinking the kill chain in this way, how they operate. If you're a red team here, I don't know many pen tester or people with more security expertise that actually are doing actual pen tester, you probably will be familiar with this kind of recent kind of tool. They're not very recent. They've been out for a while. But these are 3 tools that are operating in 3 different domains. Ruler, it's pretty well known. It's a tool that operates actually to create exchange and Outlook rules that will eventually try to exfiltrate email with a rule, with an Outlook rule, or persist with an Outlook rule. I always make the joke hey, everybody know how to clean an endpoint. Just go try to remove the malware, whether it's persistent. if you don't have any file on the endpoint, but your persistent is just a rule in Outlook, where this rule take all your email and send this email to some other place, how do you remediate persistence in this case? It brings a different set of questions. Same story for Mail Sniper. And Mail Sniper is another tool where the attackers are using it to do password spray. They can spray at very low scale and coming with chunks and try to actually get all your password. So if you don't have your MFA or 2FA deployed across all the boards on all the services, they can actually get the password and reuse them to eventually exfiltrate emails, exfiltrate your entire GAL and your address book. And Office 365 Attack Toolkit, I take the name from our product. It exists because it tries to do more creative things, like it can go in your OneDrive, looking at all the documents that you read or download in the last couple of weeks, and eventually try to infect these documents. So it's coming from OneDrive angle to actually fall back into the endpoint. These are just 3 examples. If you follow Joe Lambert, he's one of our distinguished engineers, which has been very active in trying to think about the new modern kill chain. In May 2019, he was trying to really call out even the customers and the industry, like, hey, we are seeing these attacks happening out there, and if anybody wants to contribute, we are trying to think about a new kill chain, which is a little bit of a more cloud-oriented, and it's not depending anymore by the operating system or what's happening in the endpoint. MITRE, just a week before Ignite, if you're familiar with this no-profit organization that works very closely with the US government, they actually maintaining this database of all the attacker techniques, and they ended up announcing a week ago, Sandy, welcome to the cloud kill chain. We also think that it's important, and in October, they announced it, and they released this catalog that you can go and consult online. And we work really closely with these guys. We actually contribute to MITRE as a security research team. Also, we contributed to tell them, hey, who better than a cloud provider like Microsoft know what are the cloud attacks? So now if you go to see the MITRE catalog for the cloud, you will find this new list of techniques, which are all cloud related. These are all new form of attacks that can arrive on a cloud-based environment. And it's not anymore about endpoints. So the domain here, for example, it's Azure AD or Office 365. So we're not talking about endpoint. And you will see this cloud kill chain as also things like Amazon or Google Cloud, because there are all these kind of new domain of attacks that can happen. And we have seen some examples also recently where just misconfiguring an Amazon instance may lead to eventually a big set of trouble. It's not anymore the malware, it's not the phishing, but it's more how you handle certain things into the cloud. I'll hand it over to David for the next part, but that's the point where we're coming from and how we're thinking about the set of problem and threats today.
So because the attackers have changed how they approach organizations, try to get into your environment, Microsoft is also changing how we think about it, not only with research, but also in product. So some of you are probably familiar with the suite that we have today, with what we believe is the best-in-breed security products that align with all the pillars across the Microsoft security stack. In applications, we have Office ATP that protects you in SharePoint, OneDrive, Teams, we have MCAS and SmartScreen. As they move across the traditional chain, we see that Microsoft Defender ATP also protects at the device and the endpoint. As they continue to move across within identity, Azure Active Directory, Azure ATP, and MCAS also continue to kick in to protect in these silos, the best in breed protection. And then finally, within data and email collab, Office 365 has always been there. But what we've started to think about is how can we do a better job of tying together all these signals across the entirety of the environment? What can Microsoft do within product to help create a better cohesive or comprehensive story? Which is why we are introducing the Microsoft Threat Protection Suite, which not only brings enhancements and layers across all these products, but it builds on top of that framework that you guys are already familiar with today. So the 4 pillars we've built on top of is identity, endpoint, email collab, and applications. I've introduced these layers that give additional benefit to give you comprehensive and cohesive defense across the stack. So signal sharing is the first pillar we built on top of our foundation. The signal sharing where an alert from endpoint can be shared across Office 365 in a cohesive and interesting manner. Not only alerts, but events, and then eventually event to event with the help of our incredible research team. Not only signal sharing, which powers all the detection and protection across the stack, we have the unified entity reputation. Right? Today, in all the individual security products, we might know something about a file on the endpoint, but we also know something about a file in email. Do we see it come through mail flow? Is it already on persistent in the machine? Together in MTP, we have a single unified viewpoint on what's happening with different IOCs and IOAs within your environment. On top of all this, we orchestrate back and forth, not only signal sharing, but how do we take something that may not have been a strong malicious signal in one of the pillars, but we amplify it in the context of MTP. So combining something that might have just been suspicious in Office and something that's suspicious in identity, but in MTP, we can correlate these signals to say something bigger, something more complicated or complex is happening. And on top of all this, we're bringing together the automation we have in the pillars. So we have automation, incident, and response in Office today, in endpoint today, and in identity. We bring it all together in the context of MTP and bring together a couple different solutions that can help your customers or help your environment stay protected. Incidents, which we'll actually take a look at later on after I hand it back to Elliot to go through some real-world examples, gives the capability to give you the full breadth and depth of the attack. Investigations is exactly that automation that we talked about, where it gives you the power to programmatically script what your team would have done, and we pull together all the information and give you actions to take on behalf. Threat hunting allows you to ask the question, do we get all of it? Do we need to find something else? Is there more? And then threat analytics allows us to tell you what we knew about that attack, end-to-end across all 4 pillars, between applications, endpoint, email, collab, and endpoint. So the kind of cohesive and comprehensive protection we give now kind of goes outside of what the individual pillars would have given you. You know, traditional protection and detection you have in Office or endpoint or identity. Investigation and remediation is now a cohesive story across all pillars. Threat hunting gives you the capability not only to look at endpoint data, but Office data and identity data and join them to give you a stronger signal about what might have happened in your organization. Our threat analytics gives you some insight into what would have happened and what we saw happening, as well as the contextual awareness to see, did this attack come into my organization? We have vulnerability and security posture to let you know, do I have the best configuration to protect my organization? And then finally, we also have threat experts, which gives you not only the on-demand expert resources, but targeted attack notifications if you have somebody that's already in your organization that you need help with from a SOC perspective. That's setting the framework, and I'm going to pass it back to Elliot to talk about some real stories about how customers have seen these complex attacks, and then we'll come back and take a look at how MTP could have helped.
So thank you, David. So real story. These are situations that actually, cases that we're describing here. We didn't pick up these cases just randomly. That's a real story. We're talking about a national state attacker here. I mean, the technique used by this attacker is pretty well known. We call it holmium. It's an attacker that basically we've been seeing very active for the last couple of years. They are really mastering the cloud. You know, where basically this is an attacker that it's coming not from the traditional pathway that we expected. We saw these guys becoming a little bit more innovative in things they are doing. We try to warn, like in the past, several customers. You know, we send a national state notification whenever we can see that this attacker is being active. The notifications are not part of Microsoft Threat Protection. This is part of a global Microsoft campaign to try to warn customers when they have problems, while Microsoft Threat Protection came in when you look at this attack. The way you will see starting, and this is basically like what a customer will receive as a notification, it's basically an endpoint activity where one day, one user of your environment goes to check his email, and he's just simply not doing anything else like opening Outlook and syncing Outlook with the email server. We do this every day. I do it this morning, and that's the most common operation in the world. The thing you may not expect is that Outlook, while syncing your emails, it also brings code and eventually brings actions to execute. And it decided eventually to run PowerShell. There was the signal that basically we started to see on the endpoint. Outlook suddenly started to execute PowerShell commands and doing bad things. It was not a macro. Everybody will think, oh, no, there was no email arriving, nothing been clicked, just opening Outlook and executing PowerShell. And now, this was detected, it was very suspicious. And if it was not an MTP session today, I would just thought like, yeah, that's an endpoint story where you have bad activity on the box. When we start looking eventually at the bigger picture, combining also the signal coming from the identity and from the application, so from MCAS product and Azure ATP, we saw that the picture was much broader than just Outlook launching PowerShell. So this customer, for example, like in this customer story, there were like tons of activity happening even weeks earlier where there was continuous password spray happening on the ADFS in the cloud. This is before any Outlook can start doing anything. And this activity ended up eventually at compromising certain credentials because there was no two-factor authentication. And once you know the credential from ADFS, which is basically something in the cloud, you can reuse and try to repeat the same password in Exchange and try to use the password now to manipulate the Exchange cloud mailbox of this user, where a mailbox, you know, is not just the mail that we have in a mailbox. It's a collection, a variety of properties, and also things like your homepage, your rules, your contact list, and so on. So this attack spawn across endpoint, identity, and cloud application. Without MTP, a customer will be in a very challenging position to face and detect something like that. The reason is because either you must have one of these super collaborative team and you need to pull down together, oh, where's my domain controller expert? Let's bring it in the room. And I need to bring also my SOC guy expert in endpoint. And now let's pull all the log together. But this log, they don't really talk each other. Or sometimes basically, you have to kind of start merging things coming from the identity and what's happening on the Exchange side. This is very challenging. It was challenging even for Microsoft itself when we were building the product, because merging this signal, even if it's all together, it's not a simple job. So what's happening is that the attacker, once he got access to the mailbox with password spray, he ended up exploiting a vulnerability that is being fixed. But again, not everybody is always patching up to the last day. You can basically set an home page for your inbox. So the home page tells Outlook basically, hey, this is my contact profile image, and it's HTML content. So it's something that basically it's a mixed boundary between content and active content. So the attacker figured out that once I can set this thing to a remote page, if I start embedding script content to this page, when Outlook clients sync back, it will end up launching PowerShell content. That's what Holmium was trying to do. So coming from a password spray angle, setting up in the cloud in Office 365 like a homepage, and then with the homepage, embedding this kind of script content that after a bunch of layers of decoding and the obfuscation, it lead up to this PowerShell code that run on the endpoint. So the activity that we saw with our identity was something like that, basically. For first step, on Azure ATP, you will end up seeing a variety of failed login, and basically that's the symptom that password spray keep happening. So if you don't take this pillar here and merge it together with endpoint, you'll never put together the entire story. So after the password spray, the attacker gained eventually some credential, 1, 2, could be a certain number that it's enough. And then he's using a pool of VPN coming from all remote countries just to eventually hide this property. They started to connect back to the Office 365 server and try to set all these rules. And you will see in MCAS activity like this, where basically say, hey, our CASB application is detecting eventually an anomaly, an impossible travel situation where you have the same user eventually connecting from a country and another country. And eventually even the user agent, it's different, and the IP address. So again, we have to think about the first endpoint alert was an Outlook PowerShell alert, but now we are also looking at the entire picture, and we are trying to basically come up with basically what the attacker did over a long period of time. So these are things that when we observe happening, is a real case, and also it's a real case that's not only happened to one customer. We have seen Holmium using this technique several times across several customers. They're just getting inspired from all the red team tools that already exist. You need something like a combined view, and a combined view across identity, email, and cloud in order to kind of understand what's happening, and even to go and do remediation. Again, the attacker set the homepage. Cleaning the endpoint, in this case, will not do the job. Everybody, I know like some of these customers just, oh, I will just run anti-malware scan, and I remove every file, and I'm clean. No, because the rule is set in the cloud, so which means that when your Outlook client will connect the second time, it will still run PowerShell again, and you have to go now and clean Outlook rules, which is something that a SOC person doesn't really handle every day. It's a different type of remediation. Kill chain, finally, you have to build it now with this pillar. It's going to look different from the traditional cyber kill chain, but I hope this case was trying to make a good example to show how moving across the cloud and combining this attack actually, attacker can become more creative, and this actually complicates the job of the responders and the defenders, which have to now look and protect the perimeter across all these dimensions. David is going to walk through what this thing means in MTP world.
So I guess the question that we want to ask is, what if? What if this customer or these customers had been on Microsoft Threat Protection? And Elia described some of the challenges, even internally at Microsoft, of trying to bring in the domain expertise. How does someone know about endpoint, know about email, know about the different types of attack to bring together and piece the full scope and impact of this incident? That's what we've done within MTP in a single unified console. So it's security.microsoft.com. There's one place where we brought together all these signals from the 3 pillars into one incident. So what we're looking at is the end-to-end scope and overview of this incident. On the top left, you can see that it's brought together all the alerts that fired from the underlying pillars, the alerts that came from MCAS, that came from MDATP, again from AATP, as well as a little bit of a snapshot or an overview of how far this attacker got across the kill chain. In the middle, you can see a synapse of what happened, what was the actual scope of this breach. 3 impacted devices, 2 impacted users, and then context. So in the middle, it not only lists what was impacted, which assets were attacked by this user, but context around, do they have high sensitivity within the identity world? Do they have tags? You can see that there was an admin that was involved in this attack. And then below, we also give you the total amount of evidence that we brought back into the scope of this incident. Now, on top of this, within the context of this incident, you not only now have the scope, the full breadth and depth of what happened within your organization, but MTP will help you self-recover. So we brought in the concept of all this automation that we talked about across the pillars into the scope of this end-to-end incident. So here we're looking at one of the alerts that fired on the endpoint that was talking about Mimikatz, malware being detected, and this is just the start. So not only does the incident bring together the scope, but the automation will go out and build off of the initial signal where it detected Mimikatz to figure out what happened afterwards. So not only do we have the alert, the impacted machines, but also what did we analyze? We give you the full scope and the log of what Microsoft is doing on behalf of your team. In this case, we saw there was users impacted, files, processes, and IPs, and we wrap all this up into actions that we either recommend that you can automatically approve based on settings within your organization, or semi-automatic, where it comes in and requires someone on your SOC team to review, look through the evidence, look through the kill chain, and give an approval to try and remediate and recover from this incident. So really, given this complex attack within Microsoft Threat Protection, it not only establishes the full scope, which could have taken a lot of domain expertise and a lot of time, but it gives you this end-to-end view as well as the capability to self-heal and self-recover either completely automatically or with a little bit of interaction from your SOC team. Let's go back to the interesting stuff. Pass it back to Elia.
So the first one was not a good example. I hope you liked it. And if you are not likely to be targeted by a nation state during your daily job, we pick up another one, which is not a nation state. That's more the average attack you guys may see on your network. The attribution piece is really messed up here. It's really hard to tell exactly the name of the actor, who it is. It's not a nation state. It's more an actor that is motivated by financial gain. They usually try to compromise, and they do bad things, right? They either kind of come over, steal all your credentials, maybe ransom all your environment, removing all the password to the admin, or they can do things where they try to steal all your, if you have a point of sale or one of these customers dealing with payment information, they can try to grab all this information. And it's really like not a national state, it's cyber criminals. It's really financially motivated. We call it Gracewire. You will see some overlap sometimes with other things called like Flowed Grace or TA505. But again, the point here is this is not a national state, it's more the average attacker. So these guys, they are actually working very close with the emails. So either they are directly involved in sending this campaign, where basically we think that they have an entire division, a unit where they keep spamming every day, or they may buy even this as a service. It's not clear what, but we can tell that these guys, it's not that they're running mail campaign, it's a constant campaign. They just keep morphing the campaign, doing little variation of what actually they are delivering. But at the end of the day, it's like they're really active on the mail front. So if you have spam traps, spam filters, if you have Office 365, these are the things that you will see blocked every day to your mail filters. So the latest campaign we saw in September was interesting because they were chunking the campaign into small cluster, making enough variation between every campaign customized for the selected victims. So it was very hard eventually from Office 365 looking at the global picture to understand, oh, this is like a global campaign, because it was not just a global campaign, but more like small targeted campaign to selected industries. You see, this campaign in September was really hard, hit hard on the medical device sector. So companies working with the healthcare or medical devices that were targeted, but even financial and retail were, they are common typical target for this adversary. These are some number eventually of unique variant hash block that we saw on Office 365. Some numbers just to give you like the amount of emails that these guys send. So they are really trying hard. And we pick out this example because even if it's a more traditional example of a breach that can come through the email, it's still useful to see basically how sometimes you can still end up in the situation where you may detect something on the endpoint, and then tracking back where it was entering your perimeter and what are all the other user impacted or mailbox impacted. This is like a very time-consuming job. It's not hard, but you end up, again, in this situation where you need the domain expertise. So you need an email person, and sometimes the SOC guy knows very well the endpoint. I don't know anything about email until I met David. So we ended up working with this team and say, like, hey, if I want to track from the endpoint back to the campaign, like we do in Microsoft, can we just empower the customer to do the same? Because when they're facing an adversary like this, they ended up in a situation where they need to actually investigate how many emails they got. This is an example of this campaign that somebody submitted to VirusTotal. So just to tell you, like, it's the typical phishing attachment where they make them win some of the trusted document. In the September campaign, they were using a lot of Excel with the XL4 macros. One reminder also, don't submit emails to VirusTotal like this person did. So because when you submit an email, an entire email content, you may end up, disclosing your entire email content there. So yeah, you can find it on VirusTotal there, but basically, like in this case, I just picked up this example to show you like how the malicious attachment was looking for, because some other person submitted it to VirusTotal. On the endpoint side, you will see activity like this. So imagine if the email arrives, and given that these guys are trying really hard, they're using signed payload, they are morphing constantly the payload, and also, they download eventually something else, not at the time when the email gets delivered. So it's a little bit of a post-trigger. There could always be the case where some email may actually snip through your filters and it may end up landing on the endpoint before actually it gets detected. The endpoint may see activity like this. Luckily, our post-breach detection, it can end up lighting up like a Christmas tree, all the type of activity. The thing is very interesting is when the attacker does all the things on the box to elevate privilege with the USC bypass, they are trying to schedule tasks, they're trying to use all this lol beans technique to stay on the box, and then they try to move laterally. So the first thing that they do is they try to do LDAP queries to the domain controller. That's a very common activity, and unless you have a domain controller log firewall or something, you don't see this stuff. So that's why you need to now to bring the identity, because if you go now on the Azure DP, you will see the LDAP activity happening from this attacker. But the most important thing is that when you have a campaign like this, you will technically need a product that can go back and tell you like, hey, tell me how many of these emails eventually showing the same pattern ended up landing on the user. I don't know the email, I don't know the subject, I don't even know the file, because the attacker, it keeps morphing all these things. But you can end up in a situation where now MTP can try to correlate all this stuff and say like, if you see an endpoint showing up eventually LDAP queries, UAC bypass, and activity like this, you can walk back the chain and see what email was delivered, how the email was delivered, and basically try to now correlate all these emails in this account in the same MTP view. In this case, the attacker was using a signed payload, so they bought a certificate, and in order to try to evade, the more you can build a good reputation of your malicious payload, the more basically evasion gets easier. This variety of techniques the attacker used, everything was done pretty much in PowerShell, so they were running like all the typical arsenal. Interesting call-out is basically the bottom line, where basically they were not able to capture credential using mimikatz or the typical attacks. So on the patient 0, they ended up running like an MBNS type of credential relay attack, where they're just sitting on the box waiting that somebody will authenticate and eventually relay a credential hash to the box. And that's also a technique that the attacker can use without the need of using mimikatz for dumping a credential. So red team, they use it all the time. It's just basically sitting and waiting somebody to connect. So all of this playbook, it's pretty common in what an attacker will do. But again, when you go to look at the entire picture and you're building a cyber kill chain, you need to think that these things started with an email, and you may have also other user impacted. And if you end up like searching for all these potential emails and how these emails arrive, then you end up being in trouble, because you're looking only like on one endpoint compromise, while the attacker eventually it's coming and moving laterally from different angles. So MTP is built also for a situation like this, where you may end up having chasing multiple email or multiple attacks or campaign like this, which is spawning across a month. It's like it's all September. So you have to eventually look at the endpoint compromise at the end of September and try to tie it back with another email that some other user on your network will receive eventually at the beginning of September. So these are the situations that defenders face day to day. It's a hard job. We are trying to build MTP for this exact reason. And David is going to give you more kind of an example how this thing looks like. But I hope I made the point that for a campaign like this, it's very important to try to tackle like the big picture rather than just the single endpoint compromise.
So again, we ask, what if? And in the first example, we took a look at how with MTP, you get the comprehensive scope of the breach. You get automation to help you self-recover. Now we're going to kind of go through and look at the alerts that correlate into that incident. So this is that signal sharing across pillars, from endpoint to identity, from Office and MCAS. In this example, we have alerts from Office 365, we have it from Azure ATP, and we have it from endpoint. So you can kind of follow top-down what's happened with this correlation, but we brought signals from Office where we saw a malicious click on potentially a hosting site where that XLS was being hosted. We saw a removal of the email after the fact, or a ZAP event from Office 365. And as we go down, you actually see a targeted attack notification. So in this scenario, the customer was an MTP, or an MTE, Microsoft Threat Experts customer, and they got this notification from our SOC that's helping you guys recover in a more efficient and effective manner. In the middle here, you can see that we're trying to be as transparent as possible. So we list not only the alerts that we've correlated, these signals across the pillars, whether it's alert to alert or alert to event, but we give you the reason why. So in the middle here, you can see we have a lot of the alerts have multiple reasons why they've been correlated, but some of them are as simple as we saw this file hash on the endpoint. We also saw the same SHA in the Office 365 world. Again, we try and summarize all the impacted entities. So top down, you can see that we've introduced that there's users and identities, endpoints and mailboxes that have been compromised, and then it kind of shows you the breadth of how we bring together the signals from all the different sources, from Office 365 to Microsoft Defender and to Azure ATP. Now, the last kind of cohesive horizontal we talked about that MTP brings together is this unified approach to what are entities. So if you want to take a look at what did MTP know about this device, not only from an endpoint perspective, but we have the entity page that brings together information to give you our unified perspective on what happened with one of these assets that was impacted by this attack. So this is a machine page that you guys are probably familiar with if you live in the MDATP world, but we bring in information on the top from the machine. So what incidents has this machine been a part of? What are the sensitivity of the documents on the machine? And then security assessments about what is the risk score of this machine. But below, you can see we also are bringing in information from the identity world. So what kind of contextual information can we bring from the users that have logged on, as well as their risk scores, and then the frequent users that have logged in as well. So we're bringing together one cohesive stance across all the Microsoft products into one place so that your team can really, truly understand what's been impacted as a part of this breach. So bringing it all back, I think we've seen two examples of how real attacks are complex. It's difficult to bring together not only the experts, but the information to get the scope and recover effectively. There's 4 ways that Microsoft Threat Protection can really help you with this across the whole stack. Protect with the sharing of signals and actions. It gives you the full narrative of the story in the context of the incident that we covered. It gives you the automation to self-recover, as well as give you pending actions if you want to come in, review, and approve on your own. And then finally, the piece that we didn't cover, but I'll give a plug to a session that's going to happen tomorrow, we also enable you to ask the questions through threat hunting. And this is a unified experience across the existing MDATP experience, which some of you might be familiar with. It's a freeform KQL experience that says, hey, what do you know about this entity, this asset, this experience, or this event? A future plug. So some of these sessions have already happened. If you didn't get a chance to catch the ones yesterday, you can check them out when the recordings are being posted. We're today in the middle. Later on, there's a session on how to deploy MTP from some of the experts that actually do it. And then we have a walkthrough for 2 of the different deep dive pillars we have around incident, and then a session tomorrow, which I will also be doing around threat hunting. Thank you very much. I think we do have time for questions.
Yeah, and there are 3 microphones, so if anybody, we have few minutes, I want to ask questions. We are still here, and the microphones are available to everybody.
Slide.
I will gladly leave it right here.
Yes,
Sure.
please.
So it's becoming increasingly clear that the best way to protect is multi-factor authentication for every user at every logon, right? How do you do that without desensitizing the users to continually getting these push notifications and just saying accept regardless of whether they're actually trying to log in or not? My users, I don't know about yours, but they're not really that savvy, so if they get a notification, they may or may not actually correlate that with a logon event, so they may accept something they shouldn't. but it's inconvenient to have the PIN or the code to put in. So how do you balance that so that you're not basically doing away with the benefits of multi-factor by desensitizing the users?
I can take that. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question because I mean I'm a two-factor authentication user like everybody else, and I got notification every time I check my email, some RD pings to some box. So it's a kind of like not an issue. It's part of the new paradigm. There's a new model, and now we get dealing with notification all the place. I'll give you two answers. I mean, I'm not telling you that one of these is the best one, but first of all, like if you're familiar with what's happening in Europe recently, there is a directive called, I think it's called PSD2, where they're pushing all the bank to change their notification system for two-factor authentication. So it's been a major push in Europe where they're saying just sending notification is not enough, and they force now all the banking industry in Europe to send with the notification context. I'm approving this authentication because of this is happening. I'm authorizing a transaction of $100 to this bank account of my wife. So now you get a notification with basically what's happening, and it took actually the European Union to make a directive, like a law, to actually force the banking industry to change. So that's just an example of an approach where the banking industry realized that notification is not good enough if you don't put context in it. So first part, it's kind of like, I think we should try to improve a little bit more like how the notification arrives on the device and how much context the notification brings that empower the final user to eventually take the best secure decision, right?
And that seems to be happening with the consumer Outlook.com multi-factor authentication requests that are sent to the Authenticator app, where there is a code that correlates to what's on the screen, so you can correlate those two and say, yes, this is legitimate. Are there plans to roll that into Authenticator for Business as well, for Office 365, for example?
Yeah, that's more.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any.
Okay.
I'm not sure if
That might be helpful.
that is.
Yeah,
it would be
it's good
helpful.
feedback actually. Yeah.
It is coming.
Oh, great.
Okay, more or less.
So,
coming.
but it's good feedback, and we realize this one can make, say, two-factor authentication, better. Like it's a better experience and more secure.
Yeah, and I think the only other piece that I would add is we also have built-in security and awareness training in some of our products. So in Office 365, we're going to have an attack simulator product. Some of it's just awareness, right? Having your end users be aware of the fact that they are either exposed or they need to be a little bit more, just pay more attention to what they're doing when they're online.
Thank you.
Awesome. If any other questions, feel free to come up. We'll be here. But we appreciate you guys coming. Thank you.
Thank you.